Welcome back to Inside the Green Room with Danny Green. I'm Harrison Sanford on the Sirius XM Podcast Network. Like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Or if you're watching us, it's probably NBC Sports Philadelphia or our YouTube page. Coming up later in the show, Philadelphia Eagles star wide receiver DeVonta Smith joins the show, and he tells us how watching last week's AFC Championship is motivating him to win a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. More on that, but first we got to talk to the most, how would I say this, Danny? The most polarizing role player in the NBA. How are you doing being back on the court, my friend?
Oh, most polarizing. Wow. I'm doing all right, man. It's exciting. It's been fun. It's been refreshing. The body's holding up well. Being back on the court. So we had some big wins, some really good games, close ones. But yeah, feeling pretty good, feeling pretty in rhythm, feeling legs pretty fresh. So I'm enjoying it, man. I'm feeling like a young kid again. But we have obviously a lot of big goals and tasks at hand. We have 1 week away from trade deadline, so nobody's really thinking about it that much. But we're playing well, and we want to continue to do that and try to get our bodies back. It seems like we get one guy back, two guys go down. I come back. Seth was out for a little bit. Ferk went down. Shake is still out. Joel takes a rest. He needs rest, but he's been playing at MVP level, so he deserves a rest. But we're trying to get everybody healthy on the same page and rolling right before All-Star break.
I actually tweeted this during the Memphis Grizzlies game, actually, though. The hate for Tobias Harris, which, rabid fan base, we get it. The hate for Tobias Harris about 5 times louder than the love that he should have gotten during the month of January. What is different?
He's getting back to himself. He's making quick decisions, not thinking too much. And we're finding ways to get him in better positions and get him in rhythm. So, at this stage in the game, he's staying positive. It's positive vibrations, as he would say. But, we were simplifying the game for himself, and the team has helped simplify for him. He's got a, F-it attitude. I'm just going to go out there and hoop and not think about it. And now things open up for him. And once he starts hitting that tray ball, I think that opens up the game for him a lot more. So it's only a matter of time. The game's is a game of waves, a game of momentum, a game of numbers, of slumps and highs. So even the best shooters in the world have a slump. You look at Steph. Steph had some rough nights too, but either way, at the end of the day, he's not going to stop shooting. And the numbers are going to even out eventually. So we knew it was only a matter of time for him, Ferk, Shake, all those guys. Their percentages go up and they start knocking down their tray ball. And once he starts doing that, it opens up the whole floor for him. And now that he's knocking it down, he's taking his time. He's making quick decisions. He's in rhythm, and he's getting to the basket easy, and he's playing his normal, natural game.
I think the beautiful thing about where your season or the team season is going is, as you guys have gone through your individual struggles, the team has still won regardless. That is a sign of a really, 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 really good team, Danny.
I think so. I said when we get everybody back, it makes us deep. We'll have a lot of depth. And they said, we'll see how it goes with the deadline, what happens, what moves may be made. But I said, and I always tell people this, regardless of our situation, where we stand, I think we're a dangerous team and nobody wants to see us in the playoffs. And regardless of who's on the roster, as long as we got Joel and when we're talking, our defense is clicking, we have a chance. Even without 2-5 on the roster, I think we have a pretty good shot at making some good things happen.
We'll be back with more Inside the Green Room. DeVonta Smith, Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver, joins us. Come right back. Back with more Inside the Green Room. Danny Green, Harrison Sanford on the Sirius XM Podcast Network. Can also find us on NBC Sports Philadelphia. And I would imagine that most Eagles fans are very happy about the guest that we have with us today, DeVonta Smith. Thank you for joining the show.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man, we appreciate the time. How do you like in Philly so far, first and foremost?
Oh, man, I love it. I mean, just the fans in general, just how much they love the game, not just football, but basketball, hockey, like everything around here, they love it. I mean, I'm all for it.
It's a little different than, was it Amite, Louisiana? Is that how you pronounce it? Amite?
Amite,
Louisiana. It's a little different from Amite, Louisiana. I've seen your highlights, man. I was going to bring that up. So you were naturally, to me, look like you were a hooper. I know you had to get recruited from that side of things. What made you decide to go to? I mean, obviously you made the right decision. Things turned out well. But what made you choose football over hoop?
I mean, I came to the agreement that it wasn't about what I wanted to do, but doing what was best for me. And I mean, football, that's what was best for me.
Okay. And this was something that you had discussed with like your foundation, your parents, the people around you, and they all thought like you were naturally or better in this expertise than the other.
Yeah, my mentor, he always tried to pull me away from basketball, trying to get me away from it. I mean, it just couldn't happen. I just couldn't let it go like that. So I mean, I played all the way through high school, and then once I got to college, it was just like, all right, just focus on football.
Sorry to take all the questions here, Harrison, but I'm very interested.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
So did you just cold turkey stop playing, or do you still hoop in like your spare time? You have some of the homies, y'all go to LA Fitness. How does that work? You have a little, league?
Yeah, anytime I get a chance to hoop, I hoop, just go back home,
Okay.
at the gym where I grew up, just go in there and hoop every now and then.
Okay, but so we're gonna have to get you to the practice. Sorry, I hate you. We're gonna have to get in the practice facility, man. If you want to still hoop, just let me know. We always got access 24 hours a day. You let me know, man. We'll get you in there. But H, go ahead. Do you think?
I mean, there is an open roster spot, so there is that.
Hey, look. Yeah, you got time, bro. We've been signing 10 days left and right, bro. We'll get you in there for 10 days for sure.
Hey, there's about 30 million out there too, man. You never know. 30 million just burned a hole in somebody's pocket. Anyways, actually now I want to know if you were on the court last night. We're referencing that Grizzlies Sixers game at Wells Fargo Center. Who would you have been on the Sixers? Was there a guy on the court you're like, yeah, that's my game, but in a professional sense?
I'd probably say Tyrese. I mean, he do everything. Play defense. He can score when he want. But I mean, just the way he can mix it up. I mean, just being out there, just being kind of like a pest on the ball. I mean, wherever the ball is, he's there. Just always finding a way to make a play.
People love his energy, and because he has such a bounce to him, they think he's a big ball energy. And I've seen some of your highlights as that I watched him, and I was gonna say your game reminded me a lot of Tyrese. You handle the ball more, attack the rim. Had a good energy to you and was all over the place, all over the floor, doing everything the team needed. So that is a good comparison.
You guys went to major college programs. Danny at North Carolina, you at Alabama, won a national championship. Danny won a national championship right before he left as well. And then your rookie season was a lot more successful than Danny's was, because Danny barely got any playing time. It was that LeBron James Cavaliers team. But I'm curious the transition from going to this big college football program. You're a Heisman Trophy winner. You're expecting to have a great rookie season. By all accounts, you did. But I assume there's still like a humbling process because you're facing A1 DBs out there. You're playing elite defenses and things of that nature.
I would say the main thing was just in college, you kind of had time to kind of get there. So it was like when you first came in, they already had the guy set that was going to kind of be that guy. Coming into the league as a first round pick, it's kind of like they expect you right then to make it happen. So it was just like you have to mature quick, have to be ready to take that step quicker.
Was there a lot of, I'm assuming it's kind of like my analogy is like your freshman year of school, a lot more schooling, a lot more, I wouldn't say guidance counseling, but a lot more study hall. So the film sessions, I've noticed it as I've gotten older. Not that I don't need them and that I don't watch them, but I know the young guys are doing 2 and 3 film sessions on the same things a day. So give me the process of yours for you to kind of get it, because it takes that time for all those things to become second nature, so you're not thinking as much. But give me the process of how your film sessions go and how much studying you had to do in order to keep up to mature faster.
Yeah, like you said, it's all about becoming a pro. You have to do that extra film study and things like that. So I'll get in early in the morning and kind of do my own session, kind of like watching what DB I'm going against, kind of break that down, knowing that coming around noontime, I get to do that again with my coach. So kind of already being a step ahead, like, okay, I seen this play. So now I'm not looking at the same thing I was looking at earlier. I can look for something different. If it's him, the way he plays his press technique, earlier I'm looking at which foot he stepped with first. Now, come the second time, I don't have to look at which foot because I already know. Now I'm looking at which hand he's going to shoot. Just little small things like that.
Sheesh. It's always great, or it's always, I would say, amazes me. It doesn't amaze me, but it's always good to hear the insight from behind the scenes, so that, because a lot of fans just think like we're athletic, we don't, you know, how much time of the IQ and knowing your personnel goes into these professions. So knowing hand placement, foot placement, you know, people don't even think like, oh, when he's guarding him, he's just chasing the guy out there. No, you have to like know his habits, know his strengths, his weaknesses, and watch film on those guys day and night. I'm also wondering, after games, how much film do you like to watch? Like right after the game, do you watch yourself and see what happened and watch the whole football game and figure out, you know, what you did wrong, what you did right, what could have worked, or what can help you next week?
Not right then. I wait probably to the next day to watch it. But I mean, in the game, you always remember what plays exactly you didn't do what you were supposed to do. So it's basically going back. I know what plays it is. I go find that specific play, watch it. I do that first, watch those plays, and then I mean, you go back with your coach, and then you watch the entire game.
When I bring up these things, the things that come to mind, because I heard you were a Celtics fan, because of Rondo and KG. I know Rondo, he's a sports head, but you know, very, very high IQ guy and point guard, and he'll watch the game 3 or 4 times after the game that same night before we go to film session. Here he knows how the game went. What made you, obviously, we're going to talk outside, we're going to step aside of basketball. What made you become a Celtics fan at all? Like at all places, coming from Louisiana, what made you become a Celtics fan?
I was always a big Rondo fan. I mean, I love Kentucky, so it was just kind of like I always followed him wherever he went.
He's had a great career. It's a great guy to follow. And he said he's very high IQ, Hall of Famer in my book, and it's always a pleasure to see him still out on the court and making plays. And he's in Cleveland now doing his thing. So now you're no longer a Celtics fan. We got you in Philly. Hopefully, you continue to show that, you know, the Sixers some love, and we will do the same, vice versa. We'll got to come to some of the Eagles games.
You see guys from Alabama in the league, it's Alabama. But to have your quarterback from college be your teammate in the NFL, that has to be a great bonding connection that you guys have. And how would you evaluate your first year with him?
I mean, it's great for the guys that have the opportunity. Of course, like guys like Jamar Water. It's great for us because it takes a lot of pressure off us getting into a new system with a new quarterback. We kind of know the guy. We kind of know how he operates, what he likes, and things like that. So it's kind of already, the connection is already kind of there. So coming in, it takes a lot less to get used to because you've been there before and you've seen it before.
One thing that you probably noticed, I mean, Alabama has a rabid fan base, but Eagles fans are a rabid fan base as well on the professional level. I'm sure at some point during the season, you heard the noise about Jalen Hurts and people are wondering if he could be the quarterback for the future. I'm sure you support him, but give me the reason why you do. Because I'm sure you've been watching the playoffs. You see guys like Joe Burrow. You see guys like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes of the world, Justin Herbert's. Why should Eagles fans feel confident about Jalen Hurts?
Because at the end of the day, man, the guy, he knows what he does wrong and he corrects it. I've been knowing him for, I mean, even before we met in college. I mean, when I was a recruit, he was the guy that got me to go to Alabama. So I kind of always know him. He's always been that guy that's gonna never shy away from the mistakes. He makes mistakes. He knows what he does wrong. He's gonna correct it. And it's always a work in progress. So you have those guys that when they make mistakes, it's just like, it's hard for them to get over that. I mean, he's somebody, he's going to get over it. He's going to attack it. He knows what he has to do to not make that mistake again. So, I mean, I have all the confidence in him.
I think that's huge, man. And then when people talk or ask me or to compare, like, what's the difference between Bron, Kawhi, or Timmy, or like superstars? And not to say or knock anybody else, but like, I think it's a huge thing that Pop came into play and made sure superstars are over themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be able to humble yourself, to be able to take criticism and take the blame and not blame or point the finger at other people, and knowing you made the mistakes. We played John Morant last night and he had a hell of a game, but even after the game, he said, you know, if there's anybody to blame, it's me, because I had these many turnovers, I missed some free throws, and, you know, I could have closed the game when I needed to if I was supposed to.
I referenced you and Jalen. Give me your evaluation of another quarterback and wide receiver from college to the NFL combo, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Is there a little bit of, and I think this would be fair, is there a little bit of envy of how successful they've been in year one?
I mean, no. I mean, those guys, they work for that. I mean, that's what they've been doing ever since college, and I mean, the connection has been nonstop. So I mean, like just seeing those guys. I mean, when they wanted to go to the Super Bowl, I mean, Jalen called me right after, like, man, that can be us. We gonna get there, and it's just like we see what they do, and we know that we can get there. So I mean, it's stuff that they do that we take from them that we're gonna try to put in our games just to make us better, make our connection better.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So, I mean, Danny, I'm sure you've had times in your career you saw somebody have the success that you think you should have had at some point. I mean, throughout your 13 years, can you recall any time where you saw somebody
For sure.
and you said that should have been me?
I wouldn't say that should have been me. That could have been me. Like when you see guys from your hometown or guys from your school or guys in your same class doing things that you would never expect or think that you can't get to that level. It gives you more hope. Obviously a little bit of envy, but it's more hopeful. Like, you know what, I played against this guy. I know I belong. I know that I can do things on the same level as him. Why can't that be me? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a why not situation. And there was times that when I was cut, when I was in the G League, when I was overseas, when I was like, the guys that I played with and played against are still in the league doing well. Why can't that be me? I would say certain teammates, but when you were reminding or you're talking to him about seeing them do stuff, I kind of try to use that now that I'm a little older. I try to use that to, I guess, inspire or motivate the younger generation and show them, like, when they see certain things like a Tyrese Maxey or Isaiah Joe, like, this could be you or Matisse. You know what I'm saying? You may think it's that far. It's not that far away. Like, you have the talent, you have the potential. You keep working, you keep doing these things. We will be right there. And I think regardless of who's on the floor for us, I think we have a chance. So day in and day out, it's always that type of conversation with those guys.
So Danny, I mean, you see our Heisman winning guest here. That could be you.
Nah, Heisman's over for me. Like, college is over for me. Me winning MVPs or being that guy, those days are behind, long gone. But there were times where I was like, you know what, Finals MVP. That could have been you. You know what I'm saying? We let one get away. There could have been another ring, but I got the ones that I've got now. I'm happy and very grateful for them. Still trying to win more, trying to get one in Philly. But there's always a day to come. You keep working. That could be you. You can still strive for those things.
Hey, DeVonta, didn't you guys lose Zach Ertz this year? You could use a 6'6" body at tight end.
Man.
You know what I'm?
Listen, if I was 5 years younger and still running, I would be like, you know what, I could do it. But nah, the running day is a little over. Mind you, I was a quarterback. I don't know if you knew this about me, DeVonta. I was a quarterback growing up, so staying in the pocket is probably more of my stilo right now if I was to ever switch over. But I haven't thrown a football in a long time. But yeah, QB was my position.
Danny, you are a media veteran, as you tried to educate Mr. Smith earlier in the show. And you know that when you say certain things, you are more than likely to get misquoted or not given full context when they go out to the masses. So, while you were trending this past week, people thought you were an idiot. People thought you thought that Shaq had no footwork. People thought that you thought Shaq had no touch.
Of course. Come on now. And it's funny you say this because George Niang, the big Niang theory, shout out to the Sixers and George Niang, just started his podcast this year. And he goes, did they misquote that? I said, George, you'll learn as you do your podcast. Everything you say in media will be misquoted. A lot of things were misquoted. A lot of people always think I'm an idiot, regardless of what I say or not, as if I don't know basketball and I never played with these guys. Never said Shaq didn't have footwork. Shaq had very good footwork. But it was more of a big man type of footwork. He had great footwork in terms of big man post up. When I'm saying footwork, I'm talking about Joel is a guard in a 7-footer's body. And the reason why I compared him to Shaq is because of the size, the stature of these human beings. These guys are enormous players, enormous people. And there's not many people you see coming across the game as big as Shaq. even though Joel, I think, is taller than Shaq. Shaq will tell you himself. I think he's only measured at 6'10", but he seems like he's 7'1" because of how big he is as a person. Joel is actually 7 foot, 7'1", 7'2", I think, with the afro maybe. But he's taller and moves like a guard. So when I say footwork, I meant like Kobe-like, guard-like, Michael Jordan-like footwork, where you would never see Shaq doing Euro steps or handling the ball and shooting step-back fadeaways. Now, yes, Shaq was very dominant. So was Joel. I just think they do it in two different fashions. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm not saying one couldn't do what the other could. Maybe they couldn't, but I'm saying Joel is big enough to be able to be as dominant if he wanted to be, like Shaq was with bullying people, but can't do that these days. People take charges. As you've seen when we played the Lakers, he got a charge for giving Stanley Johnson a little bump. But he chooses to take his game in a mid-range area more so, and doing more handling the ball between the legs, step back, platinums, things you don't see from a guy from that size. So that's what I was comparing to, his size and his footwork to a guard. Not saying that he was way better than Shaq and dominates better than Shaq. I never said those things.
The pot will continue to stir for the next week. I imagine we'll hear more and more of discourse as we get closer to that February 10th date that matters oh so much.
Is it the 10th? I thought it was the 5th or the 7th.
Oh no, you got a little bit more time, brother.
Oh, okay, there you go.
February 10th.
There you go.
Got a week. Yep. February 10th, trading deadline, Super Bowl that week, then Valentine's Day, and then life moves on.
There you go.
All right, guys. That is all. Hope you enjoyed the interview with DeVonta Smith.
Read, rate, subscribe, review. Appreciate you guys, man. It's always been real. It's always been fun. See you guys next week.